our representative, Rich Nugent, a member of Michelle Bachmann's Tea Party caucus, that we need jobs. America is hurting and Florida has a 10% unemployment rate. We need the jobs bill to get through so these people, his constituents, can actually pay taxes so the state of Florida will have more revenues. Tell them why you're here, folks. Edit it out.
Oh, I wasn't ready for it.
Okay. What's happening today, we are organizing this rally in solidarity with the Occupy Wall Street rallies that are popping up across the country. And the reason we're doing this is because we have so many people in our communities that are struggling. My daughter, a college graduate, cannot find a job in her field. She's finally gotten a restaurant job. And I'm sure everyone here has a similar story. I know people that are losing their houses from medical foreclosures. We're in a terrible situation. And unfortunately, Washington is not listening. You know, we have a corporate media now. All they care about is corporate America, and they don't care about the working people of this country. And that's why we're gathered here today. We're gathered here, and we hope our representative, Rich Nugent, is going to pay attention to what we have to say. Thank you.
You said this was sponsored by who?
This is sponsored by MoveOn.org.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question? You have, I mean, a lot of people are holding up signs that says we want the jobs and where are the jobs.
Exactly.
My question is where are the jobs supposed to come from?
Okay, what we want is we want the jobs bill to be passed. Okay, the jobs bill for the state of Florida. It's got a lot of benefits. There's 5 components. First off, there will be tax cuts that will help America's small businesses. And in Florida,
Let me ask you this question about the tax cuts. Isn't a lot of the legislation that they're putting forth right now, like Dodd-Frank, adding more regulations? So you have on one hand you have all this extra regulation going on, which is hurting small businesses for creating jobs, but then you want to give tax cuts on the other hand to try to spur on businesses. Isn't it sort of counterproductive?
what you want to do is you want to give the tax cuts to the small business people. They're the ones that are actually going to be putting the money back into the economy. What we want.
So you agree that we have to free up capitalism?
What we want is we want the workers and we want the jobs to be created in this country so that people will work, they will pay taxes, and they will put the revenues into the system. What we want also is the Buffett rule. We want the people in the top 1% of this country to pay their fair share. Right now,
What is the fair share?
their fair share is the same amount in taxes based on their income. We want the speculators to pay taxes.
Then you talked about the Buffett rule, but didn't Warren Buffett come out and say that he wasn't in agreement with that rule?
Jim,
is to close the tax loopholes and pass a stimulus.
Okay, so if you want to close the
We're going
tax
to tax the
loophole,
rich, corporations, and big oil. We want to stop the wars and reduce the military. We want to stop the erosion of jobs
so
in
if you want to get rid of
America.
the tax
Stop the
loopholes,
exodus of jobs.
well, hold on. If you want to get rid of the tax loopholes, that means you're advocating for a fair or a flat tax, right?
No,
it's not.
Unfair
No,
tax.
because what happens when the people at the very top of the flat tax, those people don't spend money. People like us, we have to spend money to get by.
not a
We
flat
don't have
world. Why
one
should it be a
soft
flat
way.
tax?
In banks overseas, we need money so we can put it back into the economy. And that is what this jobs bill is about.
Aren't
Thank you
those
very
banks
much.
overseas
All right,
with that
so-
2.5 trillion don't want to bring it back here because they fear they're going to be taxed?
No, that's
There are
not true.
corporations in America.
No,
that
in
have
Big Lake, they
trillions
just
of
opened a
dollars.
plant in
Overseas.
Mexico
They're
City.
not, no, here in America. that are not investing.
Why do you think
These
they're
are
not
the people-
investing?
Because they're getting
These are the
funds.
people
They're
that have
they're
got-
getting subsidies from the Treasury to keep their reserves high.
So you're advocating for getting rid of those loopholes. So you're advocating for a fairer tax. Or
No.
Not
Don't
a
say fair.
tax.
That's an
Not
unfair
a
tax.
fair
You're
tax.
twisting
It's
my
tax
words.
on
For a more
loopholes
progressive
for
tax.
corporations.
No.
We want to close the
Well,
tax.
it's
And the
one or the
loopholes.
other.
No. Cut out the
It's a
loopholes.
progressive
Just say
tax.
cut out the loopholes. Don't say progressive because you got some code word for something else.
Yeah, that's not. It's not. We're
So
willing.
let
Cut
me
out
ask
the
you, what is your
loopholes.
idea of a fair tax?
Very well. Get the
Raise it on the top 1%.
Just the top 1%.
5%. 5%.
So let's
That's
say
all they're
all of that
asking
to
for
be
right
true.
now.
Didn't the lady just come out here before and said that you have to free up enterprise, which is capitalism?
Right.
So if you're going to tax the 1% of the people who are job creators, how are you
They're not
freeing
job
up
creators.
capitalism?
They're not job creators. That's a fallacy. That's a falsehood.
Capitalism is
Using taxes as a code word for loosening up funds is a fraud. That's not true. We've had higher taxes with more investment in the country with much higher taxes.
All right, so let me ask you this question. You're here because you're also protesting bank bailouts, right?
I'm not protesting bank. I don't agree with bank bailouts, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here because we bailed them
But
out.
you're also talking about the banks, right? And how the banks got bailouts. So my question is, how come you're not protesting the United Auto Workers? They got a bailout.
The banks are the ones who are supposed to be funding money. They tripled.
So you want the banks to lend money with no criteria, just get it out
No,
into the system?
no.
Isn't that how we got into this problem?
No.
How did we get into this problem?
Because you undid the Glass-Steagall Act, which means that the mortgage banks and the savings banks got merged with the investment banks. The investment banks took all that money
But
and
this liberal
gambled.
administration
No,
added Dodd-Frank,
no.
which is hurting
Well,
them.
yeah.
Which is hurting them from lending again.
Well,
trying to keep them from doing what they did before.
Dodd is a bank lobbyist, and Frank, I don't know what's wrong with Frank.
Dodd and Frank are both two Democrat.
Dodd is a
Democrats who
lobbyist.
put forth.
Dodd is in the bank. In fact, all of Congress more or less is.
When Dodd put up that bill when it got passed into law, he was a senator from Connecticut.
all right.
Let's
Barney
put it this
Frank
way.
was a representative from Pennsylvania.
They're all bought and paid for.
So everyone is bought and paid. All
That's
the
right.
Democrats are bought and paid for.
All the Republicans.
United,
But,
it goes
but
back
not
to-
Democrats. They're not bought
No,
and
I
paid for.
said all of them.
Okay.
They're all getting bought and paid for.
I would say, so what do you think we should tax the 1% at? The
That's
top
not the
1%.
big issue.
At least
Well, what's the big
39.5%.
I'm still
At
yet to
least
hear a coherent message on what you
39.5%.
guys are protesting.
At least 39.5%.
I want to find out what you guys are doing.
represent?
The Obama jobs bill.
Passed the Obama $500 billion to add on to already crushing national debt.
It's paid for, man.
Crushing national
Well,
debt.
didn't this first stimulus already fail?
paid
In
for.
1929, Hoover
It
decided.
was a success. So
we just need more success.
That's
oh,
right.
so
And
it
if
was
we
such a
get these
success
rich banks
that the
to
more
spend
we
some of that
spend,
money for
that
jobs,
if
then
the
we'll
unemployment
have-
rate
we
reaches
wouldn't need a
12%,
bill.
that would be an unmitigated success.
What would it matter to you? You're going to take it off my Social Security
I'm
anyhow.
not going to tell. Hey, we're
That's
not
what
the
Richie's
ones.
going to try to do.
Is that more scare tactics?
No. Look, in 1929, when the first crash happened, the first thing that happened was Hoover said, "Oh, let's balance the books. Let the market take care of itself." What happened? Off the cliff. Then Roosevelt came and he started spending like
The New Deal.
The New Deal.
So don't you think everything that we're going through right now is a product of the New Deal?
So,
Entitlement spending is what's crushing it.
the
So
product.
you're saying that Social Security is totally solvent. You have nothing to worry
I
about.
didn't say that. I say, but that's the problem here with everybody unemployed. The house in foreclosure started with Glass-Steagall and the lobbyist.
Your point is to undermine the economy.
You see yourself, and we all edited your big come
I'm just having a conversation.
He's a wonderful guy, but the Koch brothers paid for him.
That's a
what
wonderful
it's all
shirt,
about.
union shirt you're
Koch,
wearing right there.
yes, Koch brothers
Union.
are paid for it all.
Union.
God bless the Koch brothers.
Those
That's how you
unions-
earn your living.
I don't think the Democratic Party would exist
I
without
know, I'm not a Democrat, but I'll tell you something. The Koch brothers paid for you.
What do the Koch brothers have to do with me standing here?
That's exactly what it is. They paid for you.